Hey guys, this is Iggy back again. Today I'm going to be doing an unboxing of the EVGA Z370 FTW motherboard. Sweet looking motherboard, at least from what I can see, still in the wrapping. But anyway, come over here real quick and I'll talk you through it as I'm doing the unboxing. Alright, so here she is, just the box. EVGA Z370 FTW. Then we have the Intel chipset. Z370 Intel Core inside, Intel Optane, NVIDIA SLI ready. And then the QR code over here. Side of the board just goes over a little bit of what the board offers. The back of the board goes over some of the key features and specs of the board itself. Alright, sorry, all the reflection off of the wrapping here, but I'll get rid of that soon. And then just some stuff over here, nothing much. On the bottom, package contents. Alright, so let's go ahead and just open it up real quick. And it's still sealed completely. So this is built off of, as I showed you in the picture, Intel's Z370 chipset. Supports Intel's Core 8th generation CPU. Socket LGA 1151 Coffee Lake. High efficiency 11-phase digital VRM. Sweet! So, plain black box. Nothing on the inside. Alright. And EVGA typically has the inside of their boxes with this guy. Ooh. Alright, so first off, in the typical EVGA fashion, I think this, oh no, this is an M.2 thermal pad. Oh, that's sweet. I thought this was a case badge, but they include in here a thermal pad. Very nice to keep your M.2 SSDs nice and cool. So I'll definitely be checking that out. Then stuck over here, looks like, and I could be wrong, but looks like one of the screws for the M.2s. And they usually have them already screwed in to the motherboard. But if anything, that's probably an additional one. Alright, so then we have 3 of these guys. This is the I/O shield. I'll take that out for you. Alright, so we can see here just a little bit of what it has. Intel's onboard HDMI and DisplayPort, as well as a reset CMOS button is going to be there. A USB Type-C connection, USB Type-A connection, and then we have USB 3.0 right over here, 6 slots, an Ethernet port, and then of course your audio, your onboard audio, and optical right here. Okay, so that's one. Then we have here an SLI bridge, and it is a soft one. Of course, EVGA does sell those really cool looking SLI bridges. And here we have SATA cables, 2 of them, and they have this little piece here to lock it into the SATA port on both sides. Alright, and this was just again that M.2 thermal pad, or was, no, actually there's 2 M.2 thermal pads. Very nice. Okay, then here we have the EVGA Z370 FTW motherboard specs and installation guide. Okay, as I was about to twist it, I felt these 2 in here, so I'll just put this down for right now. And this is what I thought the other one was, the EVGA case badge, and I'll take it out so that the wrapping doesn't blind you guys. with all the reflections. See right there, the EVGA case badge. Just put that back in the bag for now. All right, the EVGA Z370 FTW motherboard driver and utilities installation disc. These are good to have in case you don't have an internet, or maybe you don't have a driver for the Ethernet port already installed. They're good to use, at least for that. But if you have an internet connection, I do recommend going on EVGA's website, downloading their latest and greatest drivers. Okay, and then EVGA, build the best, fits you perfectly. Looks like just some marketing stuff. Yep, bunch of their VGA cards, motherboards, cases, PSUs, CLCs. All right. Then, of course, again, that motherboard document. This document is going to give you a ton of information. It's going to tell you what motherboard settings you need to enable to be able to utilize the M.2 sockets. And then also what SATA ports those M.2s disable when you enable them. So definitely good to look at. They're going to give you brief instructions on how to install the motherboard, but I'm definitely going to show you guys how to do that, how to connect all the features, how to connect the CPU, all that good stuff. And I'm definitely going to have a video showing you just about everything listed in here. So be on the lookout for that. All right, nothing else here, so I'm just going to put this aside. Here we have the motherboard, but I'm going to put it aside just for a second. Okay, nothing else in the box. All right, so here we have the motherboard itself. All right, so aside from the ESD, they give you this foam so that if you wanted to lay it across your table or somewhere, you could. Very nice. All right, so make sure when you take this motherboard out, before you install it, first off, get rid of that. It's definitely going to heat things up if you leave it on there. These are the heat sinks, so you definitely don't want that hindered any whatsoever. All right, and then of course you want to install your RAM, so get rid of that sticker. And well, CPU, I'll get to that in a second, but here are your DIMM slots. Now the DIMM slots, as well as the PCI slots, so DIMM is the memory, they are reinforced. You could see that right there. They're not just plain plastic, they're reinforced with metal, and right over here as well, just to make them a little bit more sturdy. All right, and then back here, you notice I'm keeping the foam on there. I don't want to zap the board. So you can see right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 USB 3 ports, then that USB-C type A, USB-C type C right here, and then the HDMI and display ports, as well as the reset, Ethernet, and the audio. This is using Realtek ALC 1220 7.1 HD audio, or 7.1 channel HD audio. Now, the motherboard above this, the classified board, is using the Creative Labs audio, which is awesome. Now, just in case you don't know, if you're using headphones that have a sound card built in, you can disable all the onboard audio stuff, and then that way you don't need to install the Realtek or the Creative drivers, and because that USB sound card goes through the headphones and is its own sound card, so it doesn't even pass through these. Okay, so then this is a by 16, but then if you put one here, this is a by 8, and this will slow down to a by 8, but that's okay. This PCIe slot, even though physically it's a by 16 slot, it's actually a by 4 slot. Okay, and this is a by 1 slot, another by 1 slot, and another by 1 slot. So here is the M.2, key E for example, Bluetooth or Wi-Fi. And then here are the two M.2 slots for your hard drives. Now, you'll notice right over here, silk screened on the board, and then right over here, silk screened on the board. They tell you, for example, on the top one, right underneath the video card, if you use this one, you're going to have to disable port 0 and 1 in order to utilize this M.2 slot. And for this one, you're going to have to disable port 4 and port 5. All right. And let's see. So we have 6 SATA ports right here, and then the USB 3.0 header right up here to connect to your front panel header. There is another USB 3 front panel header right over here, and then a front panel audio header right here. And let's see, where'd the other one go? Okay. And then a USB 2 header right over here. So that header gives you 2 USB ports, just like this one does, and like this one does. Then we have here the 24-pin ATX connector for your power supply. And right over here, we have the 8-pin CPU power connection, of course, that goes connected to your power supply. From your power supply to the motherboard, I should say, providing power for your CPU. All right. And then removing this guy. Sounds a little bit easier than it actually is. All right, so they got a bunch of gunk back there. Somebody put some bubble gum back there. I'm just kidding. It's not bubble gum. Just information on what you should do to install it, protect it, and not mess it up. So when you are installing a CPU, first off, of course, you want to remove that. Now be careful when you remove it so that it doesn't fall back in here. If you bend any of these pins, which by the way, they have 150% increased socket gold content, okay? Just to improve connectivity between the CPU and the motherboard, of course. But if you bend any of those pins, you void the warranty on your motherboard. All right? So you're going to just push this little lever down, pull it away, raise it, lift it, and that's going to lift the entire tray so that you can put your CPU in there. Again, I'm going to be going over this in the video I'm going to be doing, building a complete system. For those of you that don't know how to build a system, I'm going to show you guys how to build one. Okay, and actually that screw that I mentioned earlier, that's for the key.E right over here, so that you can install that card right there. Okay, there are 6 PWM fan headers here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. All right, which is great because you can never have enough fan headers. And as I mentioned before, or as I was going to mention before, let me go ahead and put this back on there first. I don't want to, by mistake, push a pin down. Okay, so the Ethernet is an Intel i219V gigabit network card. All right, this bad boy comes with a 3-year warranty, and then of course included in the driver's disc, but of course you can download it later on. Gives you the ability to use EVGA E Lead X tuning support, and with their EVGA GUI BIOS or GUI BIOS, graphical user interface BIOS, so that way you can use your mouse. Nothing new there. The motherboard also does support dual BIOSes. That way, if you're, let's say, overclocking and you messed it up, you can't boot back in there, just click, go back to another BIOS, and you can go back in there with your default settings. Over here, this guy shows the temperature of the CPU, and of course, it's also going to give you, error reports or anything along those lines if there's an error booting postcodes. The other great thing about this board that you don't find in lower end boards, which this by no means is a lower end board, is this speaker right here. You may think, oh, that's garbage. It's actually not. So when you first build your PC, something might go wrong. You don't know what's going wrong. That's going to help you tons. It's going to give you a beep postcode. It'll beep a bunch of times. And then you're going to have to maybe scour the internet a little bit, or actually maybe even in the book, to decipher what those beep codes are. Beep, 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 beep. Kind of beeps like that. You just got to read one long beep, 3 short beeps. What does that error code mean? So just giving you guys a little heads up on that. A cool thing EVGA has done right down here, a PCIe by 6 pin that provides additional power to the PCIe slots. Let's say in case you're overclocking those cards a ton, and they need to pull more power from the PCIe slots, you can do that right here. Now the reason I said it's cool, not because it's here, a lot of motherboards have it, but notice how it's recessed right back here. On a lot of motherboard reviews and case reviews that I've done in the past, on the previous motherboard I had, this was flush with the motherboard. So chances are the motherboard's going to be sitting almost flat on the base of the case, so you're not going to have any room to plug in a PCIe by 6 pin right in here. You don't need it. But again, if you're going to be sucking a ton of power out of these PCIe slots, you're going to need it. So again, the reason it's great is since it's recessed, you're able to push that PCIe by 6 pin into here, pull it around the back, typically through one of the grommets on the back of the motherboard tray, and then that way it's not only going to hide that unsightly cable, but it's going to give you the ability to actually plug it in and not be messed up with the bottom of the case right here. So they put in some thought into this, and that's actually a great idea. And well, that's about it for right now. A few other things. 100% solid state capacitors on this guy. As I showed you before, it does support Intel Optane. It is Optane ready. Supports two-way SLI with physics. And just checking to see if I'm missing anything else, and that's, well, that seems to be pretty much it. You are going to see a lot more from me on this board. Again, the building, performance, and all that good stuff. So stay tuned. Iggy out again, doing an unboxing and overview of the EVGA Z370 FTW. See you guys.
Disclaimer, this product was provided to the author to do a review. All opinions are 100% authors and authors alone. For more information, visit bit.ly/dbdisclose. To have your product or brand showcased on Dragon Blogger, visit bit.ly/reviewmyproduct. Thank you for watching.